Naughty boy on URY.
URY.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to play Ice Lol E. It's our brand new thing on the show, and I, for one, am very excited. As I look across at my chum Andy and producer Bex, they're looking quite concerned.
I'm less excited now.
What I've essentially done, listeners, is I've presented Bex and Andy with a massive towel full of ice cubes. They're from Cost Cutter, so they're very cheap and very large.
Very cold.
Yeah, very, very cold. I can assure you of that. So, what are we going to do, you may ask? The ice is in front of us, Harry, but we don't know what's going to happen. Well, in the spirit of coming up with a title for the feature, Bex, and working backwards, what's essentially going to happen is I've got, one of my favourite shows is This Morning.
Right, okay.
And we know an old friend of the show is Gino D'Acampo.
Of course.
Oh, yes.
Who accidentally makes kind of innuendos and slip-ups the whole time.
Oh, Gino.
So that got me watching more of This Morning, and I'll tell you what, Philip and Holly do it all the time.
They're a bit naughty sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. So what I've got here is I've got a lot of clips of Philip and Holly doing their stuff and messing up and being a bit naughty sometimes.
Okay.
Essentially, as long as you don't laugh at any of them, and I mean any of them, you can't crack a smile, you can't giggle, then you won't have to do anything with the ice. It can remain on the table.
Right.
However, if you giggle at anything Philip and Holly, or Fern, she's in there too, and Gina's in there as well, if you giggle at anything they say, unfortunately, you're going to have to put a piece of ice in your mouth. Right. And every time you do laugh, another piece will go in.
Okay.
Are we seeing how this is working?
Yeah.
Yep.
Fantastic. Let's play Ice Lolly. Bex and Andy, ready yourselves, please.
Here we go.
Okay, so here's the first clip that I'm going to play from This Morning.
Right.
If you don't laugh, you'll be absolutely fine. There'll be no need to pop the ice in your mouth. Here we go.
Okay.
This is Ice Lolly.
You're eating it with your main course fork.
All goes down the same way.
Thank you.
There you go. I've still got a mouthful of beef.
Nothing. Very, very good. Very, very good. Mouthful of beef?
Oh.
No, it's not funny at all.
I've got a mouthful of beef.
Nothing?
Absolutely fine.
Right, okay. Second clip. What about this?
I mean, we sort of have, in our house, we have pink jobs and blue jobs. And blue jobs are definite dad jobs.
What? I've got to ask this. Who decides whether they're pink or blue?
Me. The bins is a blue job.
Bex and Andy both lost there, unfortunately.
Oh, no.
Blue
I don't
jobs.
like this at all.
Right, pop a piece of ice in your mouth, please. They're both picking up relatively small bits, well, as small as they come.
That is not small.
Okay, so Andy has got the ice in his mouth. Bex, could you pop the ice in your mouth? This is Ice Lolly. So you found blue job was very funny. Very mature, both of you. Okay, what about this?
Oh.
A classic. Wow. An absolute Okay, Bex and Andy are struggling over there. Well, don't laugh anymore, and you won't be... That's a disgusting noise. Okay, next round. This is Ice Lolly.
Bit of the good old roast beef.
Oh, look at that.
And some Dijon.
Oh,
you like this,
just
don't you?
I really do.
Is that good? You see, you don't mind dunking a bit of beef, do you?
Again, Andy and Bex have both spectacularly failed, and as a consequence will be forced to put another piece of ice into their mouth. In we go, please.
Oh, no!
Okay, so next piece of ice into the mouth, please. Okay, their mouth are looking very... how's the pain threshold doing, Bex? Okay, I think that means bad. Andy, how's your pain?
Not good.
Not good at all. Right, next round of Ice Lolly. That was dunking beef. Another classic from Mr. Schofield now.
It's been found as many as 6 million Brits regularly fall asleep still clutching their mobile phones because they're worried they might miss a message.
You are one of the 6 million, aren't you?
I have never gone to sleep with it in my hands.
So is that.
Very good. Very good. Neither Bex or Andy laughed.
In my hands.
So is that.
Nothing. Very impressive. Very impressive. I don't think you're going to get through the next one.
I mean, this is hard to me.
I have no idea what you're saying. But I think they're struggling. Right. Another round of Ice Lolly coming up now.
It says, Hold it 6 inches away from your face at all times to avoid injury.
Oh, okay, that's about 6 inches.
Okay?
Look at that.
On the wrist.
It's a good...
There you go.
Bex and Andy both failing again there. Right, pop a third piece of ice into your mouth. Is it melting at all, the current cubes?
Oh, well, no, it's the same.
What better way to celebrate summer, listeners, than a round of ice lolly? Right, how we doing? Bex and Andy's mouths are looking very, very full. Okay, next round of ice lolly. Here we go.
Welcome back. Still to come.
Again, both failed. Spectacular. Okay, Bex says she's fine. Andy, I'm sorry, you're going to have to fit a fourth piece of ice into your mouth. In we go. Oh, Andy's dropped the ice in kind of a comedy way. Oh, God, Andy's dribbling the ice out of his mouth. Oh, God, that's disgusting. Oh, God! Listeners, if you were in the studio, you would see Andy Lake spitting and flobbing and just... It's one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen. Very luckily, it's being videoed with Harry Whittaker Facebook page. Andy Lake's died.
I'm sorry, I took the ice out of my mouth because I was swallowing it and laughing at it.
Okay. Andy Lake just
disgusting.
had a long, thin fleck of dribble, which... Oh, Andy Lake has spat all his ice out into the bin. Okay, right. I'm going to have to ask you to reload some pieces of ice into your mouth there, Andy.
That's one of the worst.
Bex, how are you doing? That's not words.
How many do we want?
Okay. Well, just pop 3 in. Or two, you know, 2 if you think you can only manage 2. One's gone in. And in goes 2, and Andy's picking up a 3rd, and all 3 are in now. Okay, the next round of ice lolly. Here we go.
You know, I knew, right from the word go, I knew that was going to go wrong. Once I'd fought my way through Mila Kunis.
Very good.
Fine.
No, nothing at all. I don't think you'll be... Oh, Andy's dropped another bit out of his mouth. Replace it immediately, Andy.
Oh, so cool.
It's so cool.
Cold.
Oh, cold. Okay, I don't think you're going to be quite as successful during this round.
Oh my God.
Listen, it's a shame you can't see this, because every time Andy Lake pops a piece of ice into his mouth, it immediately kind of ejaculates back out. Right, here we go.
And would you let your partner loose on your hair? We meet the men hoping to save their ladies some cash by learning to blow their hair for them. They've got expert help. Blow Your Wife is coming up a little bit later on. You'll find out how they do. Break.
And so Andy and Bex are both forced to put another piece of ice into their mouth because they failed to not laugh. Excellent. So how many pieces are we looking at now, Bex, in your mouth?
1 and a bit.
1 and a bit? Because it's melted?
Yep.
Okay, very good. Okay, Andy, on the other hand, is looking very, very full. Right. Now on to an old favourite from the show. We've had this before. I think you'll still find it funny. This is Mr. Gino De Campo on This Morning.
Wow.
This is how I got my wife to become my wife. She never had lamb, and I cooked her this one. And she said to me, "Would you?" Of course you can. Well, we're gonna recap, just in case you didn't get it. She never had lamb. Well, she always had the usual lamb, but then I showed her my shank. Yeah. She loved it.
Should we have a look at a recap?
Gino showed his wife his shank, and she loved it. Andy Lake laughed so hard there that he actually spat all the ice out into the bin.
Just in case you didn't get it. She never had lamb. Well, she always had the usual lamb, but then I showed her my shank. Yeah. She loved it.
Should we have a look at a recap?
There we go. So, Bex and Andy, please load up your mouths with ice. And we're moving on to the final round of Ice Lolly. You'll be glad to hear, you two.
Oh, that's nice, that. Oh, yeah, that'll do.
Okay, so how many pieces of ice have you got in your mouth about, Andy? Use your fingers to show me. 4. Andy Lake has got 4 pieces of ice in his mouth. Bex, what about you? You're looking at 2 at the moment. Excellent. Right, this is the final round of Ice Lolly. Gino's back.
Now, yet again, you're not alone. You've got opponents.
Ah, really?
Do you want to meet them?
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
go on then.
It's first up, Gino De Campo. Come on, Gino.
Wait, he's a chef!
Yes, I know. Yes,
It's got nothing to do with the chef. It's like asking a farmer if he can milk his own wife.
Okay, let's just move on.
Right, Bex has actually held strong. Andy Lake, true to form, has iced himself. All the ice has come out of his mouth. It's quite, it's turned to water, and his trousers are covered in it. How do you find Ice Lolly? That's the end, by the way. Can you speak, Bex? No, Bex can't speak. Andy, how did you find Ice Lolly? Brilliant. Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed that'll be on the Harry Whittaker Show Facebook page this evening or tomorrow. That was Ice Lolly on UOI.
Like the legend of the Phoenix,